America. Now, yesterday, the former US President Donald Trump testified in the New York fraud trial against him, remaining indignant on the stand, claiming the financial statements at the heart of the $250 million fraud trial are worthless. During the court session, Donald Trump clashed with the judge on several occasions. Well, joining me now is Chair of the Republicans Overseas, Greg Swenson. Good morning to you. Nice to actually see you in the studio after so many years on Zoom calls and the like.
Great to be here.
What a surprise. Donald Trump clashed with the judge in this civil court case. Now, just refresh us on what this case is actually about.
Yeah, well, it's no shock, obviously, that he was rather defiant because the case is really a bit of a stretch from a legal perspective. You know, there's no victim here, right? There's no sign of Deutsche Bank saying, you know, President Trump cooked the books on their due diligence. They would have picked something up. So, you know, I think it's a real stretch. But more importantly, remember, this is one of 4 indictments, all of which came after he announced he was running for president. So they, you know, for 2.5 years, not a word about any of these issues. And then all of a sudden, there's 4 indictments on.
This is the difficulty. As you know, not a big Trump fan here,
right.
But it does seem to me a lot of this is politically motivated. I also think these are charges that should be brought against him. And you know, look, if you have a proper justice system in the States, there's some question marks about that, then you know he should stand trial under the system. He shouldn't be above the law just because he's rich or being the former president or running for president. But the timing and the fact that again and again these cases are being brought by attorney generals like Letitia James, who have run for election.
Yeah,
I mean, this is something we just find bizarre in this country. Someone runs for election basically saying, I'm going to bring down Donald Trump, I'm going to bring this case. And then the judge, who likewise is undoubtedly partisan. I mean, Donald Trump says, this judge, Judge Engoron, he said, I'm sure the judge will rule against me because he always rules against me, he said at one point in court. I mean, but these are politically motivated
without a doubt. They don't feel like they can beat him by making an argument, by winning a political discussion or winning with a philosophical discussion. So they're using the justice system to do that. And
if he is guilty, they're totally entitled to do so. Of course,
you know, look, you can make that argument maybe in the documents case where he did his defiance actually, you know, in a way.
The documents case, you mean we're keeping these secret classified documents in Mar-a-Lago?
And he was very defiant when they asked for him to return them. So some of these are self-inflicted wounds, but I don't think this is the case. This is more similar to the Alvin Bragg case, where another one who ran on "Get Trump" or "I'm going to get Trump" as his campaign slogan. So, you know, look, I think that the Democrats and the legacy media in the U.S., they want Trump to be the nominee. So these indictments are helping him in the polls, obviously.
That's the interesting thing, isn't it? Look, many in the Republican Party don't. They'd love to be rid of him, but they're scared of him.
There is that segment.
The Trump fanatical supporters are still there in huge numbers. He owns the Republican Party right now.
Well, I wouldn't say he owns the whole thing. I mean, he's almost an incumbent president, and yet he's only polling at 60. That's usually a very bad sign for an incumbent. You could say the same for Biden, who's an incumbent polling below 90. But that would usually be a worry. So you're right, Julia. There is this, you know, this pro-Trump wing. It's about 20%. That will definitely vote for Trump.
But they're the people who come out. That's the thing.
Yeah, but then there's this completely different group that either they don't miss Trump, but they miss 2019. They miss peace and prosperity, which they got from Trump. And then you have this group, more independents and moderates, who were not supporting Trump, but once these indictments started coming and they saw the political martyr that he's become, they started supporting him. So it's a mix of different types. But
it is fascinating. Tom Slater is still with us from Spectral Online, that actually the Democrats would be thrilled to run against Donald Trump. And yet, latest polls show Biden's running behind him in key swing states.
And I dare say their kind of attempt to play 3D chess could well backfire on them, as it has done previously. I mean, in the 2016 race, the amount of attention that the media gave Donald Trump, and he was very much the kind of outside chance, because there was this sense of it wasn't necessarily we've got this big grand strategy to make him the nominee, but they felt it made the Republicans look ridiculous and so on. We all know how that one
He's newsworthy.
And they have almost single-handedly, these indictments, revived his campaign. He was very much in the doldrums. There was a bit of talk about him being yesterday's man DeSantis in the ascendancy. Now he seems completely unassailable. But I do wonder, given like 2016, he's also up against a weak candidate, what might happen if it does get to a general? Maybe the Democrats have bitten off more than they
can. It's the fact that it's going to be the same again. Who knows what happens in terms of...
It's like Hillary. I mean, he was the only one...
I'm so sorry, Greg Swenson. I'm going to have to leave it there. I do apologise. They're shouting at me in my ear. Greg Swenson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Very much appreciate that.